My very first art teacher said, "You make art about life." The inspiration was always, it was part imagery, part what it's about, how do you want to make people feel, how do you want them to react, which is one of the big things I learned in grad school, that you can control how people react to your painting to some degree. Early on, I was just doing sort of all kinds of things. You know, eventually I settled on wanting to do something that would confront you, things that would draw you in, but then subject matter that would, like, push you away.
Jim, his artworks are, how should we say, they're bold statements. He's such a great painter that even if you didn't want to look at it, you couldn't not look at it when you walked by, you know. His works have always made you stop and think, you know, and that's the great thing about it. Sometimes he would do it with elements that are shocking to some people, violence, gore, nudity. But those of us who are working at the festival, we were maybe taken a little bit by surprise at the reaction, the public reaction, that is.
Didn't surprise me at all. I thought it was hilarious.
You know, one of the largest paintings I did in that series was called Dracula's Wedding. It was kind of about the angst and the ups and downs and complexity of being in a relationship. I chose the kind of Dracula vampire setting because, you know, we at the time saw our love as sort of eternal, and so I kind of like that. And I always liked vampire movies. So.
There were people who were concerned that that was way too much, too difficult for children, you know, to look at.
Lubbock has some really, we like, not me, okay, but we as a community lean toward black and white answers to a murky world. And so they feel many of those are offered in a religious construct, in terms of deciding what is in fact what should be seen and what should be part of a community-wide arts festival.
But the next year they decided that they didn't want to deal with that kind of controversy. They didn't want to worry about that. So they canceled the competition part of the Lubbock Arts Festival, which meant there was, you know, they brought in a traveling show of photos from Houston or something like that in its place.
I don't remember that. I don't think we got rid of having a juried gallery. Now, we could look it up. I mean, that would be easy enough to figure out. But okay, so here is 1995. This may explain part of it. It looks like maybe the gallery in 95 was all photography. So there are no painters, no sculptors.
I think that was a response because, you know, basically people don't want to be in a sticky wicket. They don't want to be in a mess. So was it in response? Yeah. Kind of, sort of? Yeah.
What it meant was there was no outlet for local contemporary artists to show something at the Lubbock Arts Festival. You know, if you didn't get a booth, you know, pay hundreds of dollars for a booth and you have like little things you want to sell. You know, for a contemporary artist, there was nothing. So I got together with a couple of friends and said, why don't we do our own show?
What happened was that it spawned for a couple of years running an alternative to the Lubbock Arts Festival.
We ended up putting together a show called Salon of the Ignored that we had over 100 artists. It was open to anyone who wanted to participate.
So the Fringe Festival sort of gave an opening or an opportunity for a lot of other artists. I and many of us thought it was a great deal. I wish it was still happening.
And one of the Bush presidents, I think it was the first one, always said Lubbock was like basically Lubbock has always been average America. It's a great place to live. I really appreciate the quality of life here and the people here. But also being sort of average America, for me, it's wonderful to react to. And, you know, either trying to piss them off or trying to please them or just trying to interest them. I mean, even that's challenging.
A lot of people worry about what does it mean to the artist, and really it's the important thing is what does it mean to the viewer or the listener. He's such a great painter and drawer, and his sense of composition is so good, and his use of color is so good. And Jim's work is also so compelling in its craftsmanship. And so I think because he is so good, and he does make such a great statement and draws such a great question mark in your mind when you look at it, that the reaction was stronger for his work than it might have been for someone else's.
You know, it's artist's responsibility to make art seem like something worth stopping and noticing and thinking about.